say they hide or go sell. So they go sell, we say they go sell, so then they cheat with it. Because we na woman, they will not understand, no sabi about diamond better. I like he sabi but where you go sell, and he not get license. And now they feel for give, and then they give. We say with the whole because of forget picking there, for low picking there, able survive.
The gender journey in Sierra Leone, I believe, can be traced more significantly back to the Civil War. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission made significant recommendations. The atrocities that women suffered during the Civil War had to be addressed. And so the heightened awareness about the rights of women, political rights, economic rights, social rights, took root and has continued to grow.
The 50-50 group started in November of 2000 when we were ending the civil war in Sierra Leone, and found out that when we had the democratic process after the war, women were not considered as such for governance and leadership. As the name implies, it's 50-50. So we're looking at parity and having women in leadership and public life, in politics, and where decisions are made. We have seen changes in some sectors, and we have seen some policies being made, and some acts, sort of being reviewed and being ratified. But when it comes to the mining industry, we're still waiting.
Although we have a deputy minister as woman in the mines ministry, the Minerals Advisory Board has no woman at all. The National Minerals Agency has no woman on the board.
Having women in executive positions in mining companies in Sierra Leone is very few and far between. And I do hope that some of the companies are taking initiative, as we are in Sierra Rutile, taking initiative to enhance and improve on that. When I joined, I was the only female in EXCO, and now there are 4 of us in EXCO, so it's improving.
The 2009 Mines and Minerals Act did not really address gender issues, did not capture the critical role that women can play in governance and management of the mining sector.
The laws have to be stronger on gender. And that is why we are engaging the ministry and the Mines and Minerals Act review process, as well as all the reviews that are taking place in other ministries to ensure that gender is on board. Once that is done, we can then use those legislative provisions to advocate for effective implementation, even for government to allocate more resources, and to also urge the companies to create more gender policies in their operations.
So these policies now create the framework within which we are reviewing our Mines and Minerals Act, and in many ways that will improve government's intervention and interaction with women.
The problem I what we did I ask like most of the land there, now the man they more getter. Because they take and say na man get right some more for let able get land for himself. What they can work say, who said the man in the work, and the end they working day. So they when they don't work, they dirty, when they don't work, like when they left that chap, then give.
That is currently being addressed at the Ministry of Lands through the national land policy and the national land law that would be enacted, where across the country we would have a unitary land system, which is the freehold land system, and not a land system that is characterized by cultural decades of cultural practices where men are actually in control of land.
Like for who kika work so, who don't get that small thing, who they try to get that for get small thing for either for go sell. The man and they use we, then they sex with we not to we wish, then they go lay down between our bush, because we want no more we survive. Then they lay down between our bush, then get sexual abuse with we because we not get.
Sexual exploitation is a huge challenge. The government has really increased its intervention and its involvement to address that particular problem, ensuring that stiffer jail terms are handed down on convicts, but also preventing sexual offenses through constructive engagement with community people, with traditional leaders, with men themselves getting involved in the conversation on the radio, awareness raising.
When I talk about gender equality and space for women, I've been advocating to see how we can pass the Sexual Offences Amendment Act. I believe if there are good laws to protect women, then these women will not suffer sexual violence in mining communities.
My name is Esther Fidakane, so that name in fact signifies that I'm from Kono. I was born in Kono. So I saw a lot of things that are affecting the community in terms of mining. I'm here in Konom to do a training on leadership. And for us as an organization, it's very critical, it's very important for us. We want to see women taking the lead, want to see women in all of these structures and giving the same training like the men so that they can understand the mining or the extractive sector as the men, so that they can make adequate and very important contribution.
So what I've learned from the training, I learned that as a leader, you must respect others people's view. As a leader, you must be a role model. As a leader, you must be transparent. So we want to tell our leaders in Sierra Leone and Kono, especially the mining areas, they should be transparent.
How many women will benefit from this funding?
I'm really doing all my best. Still, the document is under review, but I will do all my best to the level, even when it is being taken to Parliament. I will also try my best to ensure that what we said during those consultations is being factored in the review of the Mines and Mineral Act.
We have made a lot of position as to how women should benefit and even the decision-making processes, but we are here to see that document and see how much those concerns we are taking on board.
What needs to be done to achieve meaningful gender equality in Sierra Leone is the will. The laws are there. The policies are there. It's the will. If everyone is on board and wants to see more women in positions of authority, leadership positions, it can be done. It's the will from top down, bottom up.
So we want the government to help us, especially the mining policy they are about to review. So we want the government to help us, that to say this percentage is for women, so that will be part of the law. So they can give this percentage to women in the mining area so they can take care of their children and also themselves.